All right. Welcome back to the Offside Podcast. Here for another week of culture and Pacific sports amongst every other bit of piece of culture and news that's happening around. Big thank you to Tox Fale and Fale Kava for sponsoring us again. Fale Kava, we will add this in all our descriptions, so jump on Fale Kava on Instagram. It's at fale.kava.com. Well, Instagram. You'll figure it out. We'll tag it up. How are we? We just talked about energy because it's a Friday night. Now we're recording. We're recording these after work now. So energy's a bit different, eh? How is everyone?
Good.
Yep. Right. Yep.
Good. We thought we'd open up with a game of Lalaga just to kind of get us into the talking mode. A big shout out to Therese Laulu for the game. She's been doing a pretty cool press run on this. So again, Lalaga, the card game, another thing you can find on Instagram, another Pacific made product. But let's just jump into it, eh?
Yes.
Just to kind of get us into the zone. Shit. What is this question? What's the weirdest thing you find attractive? Open.
Random. That's so random.
It's part of the game.
Like in a partner.
Probably. Maybe.
What else do you find attractive?
Well, how food is attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Oh, so we're going material, like other things. Let's frame it in the person.
I like cheese.
You like cheese on a grill? Is that what you're saying?
No.
What do I find attractive?
Or you like cheese.
Solely.
Wow. Really?
If this is based on the characteristics of a partner, I don't know if it's weird, but I've been attracted to ambitious girls. That might sound weird, eh? But just you can't be dumb. Basically, is all I'm saying. I need to have a conversation about fucking futures and shit. But that's me. It's so weird that Ali's laughing and no one else has to say anything. No one else has got the balls to say anything. All right. Moving along. What is the most interesting place?
That's not weird though. Yeah.
What's that?
Ambition is good, man. That's
No,
good.
but you get a whole bunch of people just attracted to, like, I don't know. Are we talking physical traits?
Yeah, like looks. Anything.
okay.
Like you say, anything. No, I don't find that. That's good. That's good. You're attracted to ambition.
What's a weird thing to be attracted to, though?
What?
Someone wants to say feet.
The
Someone
toes, eh?
toes,
Toenails.
elbows.
I'm sure that exists for some people.
Junior had something to say. What are you attracted to, Junior? The smile way?
Not really.
Wow. What's the weirdest thing?
The realist thing?
Not the licking the lips. Oh, boy.
He licked the
Hello,
lips and
Jucze
then
over here.
laughed. My man's got some ideas.
Man, that's too much. That's too much information, man.
Yo.
All right, moving right
Wait,
along.
God, wait. You can't laugh. You can't laugh and then not say
Laugh
anything.
at me and then you. All right. What is the most interesting place you have ever visited?
Oh, visited. I thought something else was going to come up.
In the bedroom? No. What is the most interesting place you've ever... I thought Japan was pretty interesting. Just the blend of like past and present culture, which is really weird because you still got traditional architecture there, but then you've got like neon lights. And so there's like that futurism meets the past. I've always fascinated about Japan, so I was like, pretty cool. So I found that it's probably the only place that I visited on the planet that's like matched what I thought it would be in my head. Like New York's a lot dirtier than you can imagine.
Right.
It's dirty. But yeah, you've traveled quite a bit. Korea?
Yeah, Korea is an interesting place.
Why is that?
Oh, again, it's just different. Public transport arrives on time.
That's big if you come from New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah. Or at least the fascination around, what is it? Like 10 million people moving in and out of the city, like every day.
Yep.
I think it's 10 or 6 million people or whatever, but there's a lot of people moving.
Yeah.
So like there's systems, when you look at that, at a bigger scale. Like their systems are robust, like things work. But outside of that, Japan's pretty interesting. A lot of Asia's quite interesting.
Yeah, Asian countries. How about you, Ali? Most interesting place you visited?
Bro, to be honest, I don't know. I find interest in pretty much everywhere I go. Egypt was fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, you see the statues with the locks. You know,
Yeah.
you know clearly, but they're at the back of the Cairo Museum. You know, you clearly it was a black civilization. Going to Tonga was amazing because
What's Tonga like? I've never been.
So I find these places interesting because I had preconceived ideas on what they would be, and then you go to Tonga and man, everyone's like fit. Like when I was young, right? And the women are beautiful, and it was such a beautiful place. I went to Papua New Guinea. That was an amazing experience. You know, and I've been to places like Ireland, Scotland was amazing. England was amazing because when I went, I really hated white people. And then I go to the home of the colonizer, and it was completely different from what I thought they would be.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really down-to-earth people. And so I found that interesting. You know, my English teachers used to always say, 1, 2, 3. Say it properly, speak English properly, and you go to England and they're like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, with the F, rather than the TH. Yeah.
There's so many places. I think that's why I really am in favor of more sporting opportunities for kids in Samoa or for kids here to travel and to go see the world, because it's completely different to what you read in the books. And I find so many interesting places, but it's made me want to travel the Pacific more.
Yep.
You know, to see what's around the Pacific. I want to go to Easter Island. I want to see all the statues, and Micronesia. I've journeyed around the world, and now I really want to just go around the Pacific and just see the ancestors. Yeah, ancestors' journey, and and to talk and to learn. But yeah, bro, I find interest in everything.
That's what I love about travel too. It's that opening of your kind of brain, basically.
Bro. That no book can tell you about, man.
You have to go and talk to the person in Spain.
Yeah,
you have to go and conversate with the black person in America. Like,
hard up.
When I went to New York, I had the idea of that, like, it's gonna be this one thing, and it was pretty grimy. Like the places that I went to, I remember I was walking through Harlem. What's the name of the road? It's Lenox Avenue, which is kind of like the hood. But I was walking through Harlem to get to the Apollo. And we're walking past the street, and we walk past like these what do they call them? The projects, big building. And I was on one side of the street, crossed over, police car pulled up, 2 of them, and then they grabbed this black kid, chuck him to the ground, and there's 4 white people manhandling on the ground. And the family come to the black kid's defense, and they're like arguing, and I was like, holy shit. And I walk right through, and I'm like, fuck, something bad's gonna happen. And like I kind of stop and I turn. And this other black dude who knows that I'm not from there walks past me. He's like, man, it's just another day in the fucking hood, man. And he just walks on, and I'm like, man, it really is like that. Yeah. And so you have to go to these places to kind of just see what it's actually like. Yeah. Media, like we've had this chat about media and what that can, like the ideas that all kind of send to you, but you have to go to these places.
Yeah, you have to
see it for itself. Papua New Guinea's an interesting one. What was that like?
No, that was awesome. I loved it. It was completely different to what I thought it was. Everyone's on the beetle nut.
Yes.
So their mouths are red and they're spitting on the ground, and it was awesome. Just very blessed to be able to travel. So I think, just travel, go out there, see the world, because it's nothing like what they tell you in books or what they tell you in the media. And
this is a good question for all of us. From the Lalaga game, what's the dumbest thing you've done for money? I just want to see you strip, right? Dumbest thing you've done for money? Me, I worked in the TV industry. I worked at some of the biggest companies in Australasia, and it was soul destroying. But the money was good.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, eh?
What was the question? Sorry.
What is the dumbest thing you've done for money?
The dumbest thing.
Yeah. And I only say that because I've been in many positions where I could do without, but there's something about having the glory of, yeah, I've worked for Discovery Channel, yeah, I've worked for these other networks. There's that kind of like, I don't know, that fear cool factor that you add to it. But at the end of the day, all these big corporate companies, they all do the same thing. And this whole time I've been trying to build like a +64. And I was like, fuck, I could have spent that time working at those places, putting on my, I wouldn't have been getting paid the same, but at least we would have been in a better place to kind of produce TV shows or projects. But that's why I say it's the dumbest thing, because it's like those places will eat at your soul, especially if you come in with a good heart.
Oh, maybe going to university then.
True.
I feel like that.
True.
I don't even use that now.
Like student loan, obviously, is money that you pay back.
Yep. I've still got 12 grand left.
I mean, I look at the industry that I've been working in, or at least been contributing to my time for the last 6 or 7 years. Yeah, like a degree is helpful, but I'm looking at a lot of people in there that don't have a degree. And I'm like going, okay, interesting. You're earning 6 figures and stuff like that. Obviously put in the time, which is fine. But I'm guessing just certain industries do that and certain industries don't. Yeah. But the fact is, like, because we live in a country like this country with certain factors, certain industries will prosper. Yeah. Like, say if I was a farmer, for example, it may be prosperous here for that. Obviously, because we've got the existing industry to support that. So I'm guessing maybe the selection of what I decided to do at university was dumb. Yeah. Maybe. But yeah, university could have been a dumb decision.
I probably, you.
I'm sure drinking is part of it. I mean,
or the years of, like, probably a culmination of it.
I'm trying to think of it, because I did spend spending my money on drinking.
Fuck yeah, bro. I probably could have bought 4 houses with the amount of fucking...
God damn.
No, I'm exaggerating, but yeah, no, hard out.
Should we call someone?
Yeah, is there something about wasting money? Is like, yeah, I understand.
Actually, wasting money is different, eh?
Yeah, wasting money.
I guess, yeah. Well, then I might.
But isn't that part of, like, you need your downtime? Isn't that part of, otherwise you won't be able to, go to work the next, on Monday because you're sick of this shit?
That's true.
I mean, we all have our vices. Fuck, you got to do what you got to do, man. We're not in, we're all in different spaces and places and in different times. So I don't be too harsh on a bad decision. It's a lesson.
I guess that's all it was, eh? A bad decision.
Or
a less-informed decision.
But there are some decisions, like university, for example, sometimes it's not your decision. Like, fuck, I got told I was going to do law from fucking when I go walk. Right. Bro, they used to go, you're going to law, you're doing a law. Like, sometimes it's not your decision, but I'm not going to, because I don't use it that much, to be honest, and I don't use it now.
Your law degree?
Yeah, I'm not doing that now. So, but I'm not going to... How
much does it, like, carry you, though? Like, if you were to work into a job and say, hey, I've got a law degree, surely that's like oh shit, you've done the years to...
No, I don't put it out there like that. I just know that right now, and for the longest time, I've needed other skills. Yes. Like, I've needed the trades for shit since day one. Yeah. I've needed those skills, and I haven't needed the law as much as I've needed the trades. True. So that's the way that I'm going to be directing my boys, is when they can legally, they're going to start that straight away. And we're not going to go the university route. So, I mean, it's just lessons, eh? Like, nothing's dumb. Nothing's ever dumb. We're all in a different place and different time. And at that time, it was the only decision that we can make. And you live and learn, right?
All right. Last question. Sorry.
I think what you're saying is good. And I think part of it is installing the lesson of survival.
Yeah.
Because once the internet cut off, that's it.
Yeah, bro. I can't survive on the Excel spreadsheet, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Bro, as soon as they disconnect the power, which they will, it's inevitable, bro. Society's going to crash. You cannot keep increasing the population every fucking year, and it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
That's a fact. It's going to crash at some point.
As long as I know how to count.
Yeah.
As long as I know how to count.
So, yeah, bro.
All right, last question. Do you think we can reclaim the word fob?
No.
No.
But what's reclaim? What do you mean?
Was it lost to begin
Yeah,
with?
who's?
Yeah.
I don't
I don't know,
understand what's
Therese. Ask
reclaim.
Therese, bro.
To be honest, I don't hear it much these days.
I
No,
haven't heard it in...
I heard it when I was a kid.
I heard, yeah. I don't hear it much these days, and when I do hear it, it is used in a bad way. It's always to describe a Samoan from Samoa.
Yeah.
That's the only time I ever hear that word. Oh, these fucking fobs from blah blah blah.
Is it more from our people though?
Oh, I haven't heard it from.
I've heard other slurs, man.
Yep.
Like,
I heard it
something
from
like
others.
that, but
Someone say it.
fob, like, I've
yeah.
mainly heard it to describe, like, Southeast Asians.
Yeah.
And,
I've heard
never
that
heard
too.
Oh yeah, and they say that too.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
They've
Well,
had talks
I've
about
only
that
heard
word.
it really amongst that, but maybe it's just the bubble that I'm in.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but it's like there's that kind of, it's for a lot of Samoans here, it's our word to describe the Samoans back home. For a lot of Samoans back there to describe us is the whaapalangi, you know, like or the
that
whiapalangi.
is a whiapalangi, and that one hurts more.
And that one hurts more.
That one hurts more.
Yes, if you want to,
It's being called whiapalangi. That's
Yeah,
that's
that
the
hurts.
worst one.
that hurts way more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think we've already claimed it. Like it's almost like non-existent, and well, not non-existent, but it's not a everyday thing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't hear people using that. Also.
All right. Well, let's get into our podcast.
Malo.
Nice experience to just get back into the game and get talking again. Let's start off with sports. Manu Samoa's big win over Spain. Italy, sorry. They've got Spain this weekend.
Yes.
Last week. But thoughts on the game, Moose, or the result?
Yeah. No, it's a very good result because Italy brought their number one team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were stacked with their players. They also did really well against Wales. I think they beat Wales. Italy beat Wales this year in March, I think. As part of the Six Nations. Was it maybe a win or maybe it was a close loss? Yeah. It's a very good win. A very good win. Mahonri's first game as coach and Theodore McFarlane's first game as captain.
They did beat Wales 24-21 in March.
Yo, and that's awesome. Like, this is a very good Italian side. All of these tier one teams are very good. And it's a great win. It's a great win, especially for the people in Samoa. It's awesome to play at home, Apia Park.
Any baby?
Pardon?
Any baby?
Yeah. And it's awesome to have, like, tourists. You know, the Italian team or the players, they will bring all their families. And it's an exotic trip. You know, it's a trip to the Pacific. And all their families were there, apparently. Their coaching staff obviously are there, and their families are there. You know, it's tourism. It's a great experience. It was a great result for Samoan rugby and great for the economy with the influx of all that money.
And pretty cool for Theodore too.
Yeah,
That his first game is a win on home soil.
it was an upset too. It was upset.
yeah.
Like, Italy were favorites, especially because they brought their number one team. And they don't play to the conditions. Like, people don't understand in the Pacific, the ball is slippery the whole game. Everyone's sweat. It's humid. You know, they ran too much and they knocked on a lot. Great hits. It was a really good win. Well deserved. It's not one of those controversial wins where, Italy should have won in that. Nah, Samoa were the better team. You know, they played well and really good all-round game. And some new players here. Oh, it's a great win. Italy beat Tonga today.
Yeah. True.
So they traveled to Tonga, you know, and so this is good experience for Tonga and Samoa. You know, you know, playing these teams, these tier one teams, and it's, trust me, man. When you ask these Italian players in the future, what was your best time, bro? Samoa will be up there. Because they go to England every fucking week. They go to Ireland. They go to Scotland every year for the Six Nations. And it's going to be these trips where they went out to, you know, Samoa. They went to Tonga. Places that you wouldn't choose to go to, you know? I mean, for these Europeans.
Yeah.
And so it's a great all-round experience for everybody, for the Samoan and the Tongan rugby players to play Tier 1. To play in front of their home crowds, a Tier 1 team, because they hardly ever come. There was that big push to get the All Blacks just to travel 3 hours because they had never gone to Samoa.
we gotta talk about that.
Yeah,
2015 year.
But no, it's a great result. Good start for Mahonri and Theodore.
Have you played Italy?
Yes, I played Italy in Italy. And
What's their their typical style of play?
they're different. They're really passionate. They are perceived as easier than England, but now, oh man, with the professional standard, everybody is really good on their day.
Yeah,
we lost when we played them in Italy.
Pretty exciting, man. Like to kickstart a new coach, new captain, a new team essentially, and to beat like a pretty top tier team.
Yeah, but Samoa, our problem is inconsistency.
Yeah.
Even just as a people, like we're all hot one day and then just shit the next day and up and down. Can never be consistent at shit. So that's the next step, is to be a consistently good team. All Blacks are fucking well respected because they're consistently good.
Yeah.
And so that will be the next step. That's always the hardest step, is to back up the next week and the next week after that. And it's hard because Samoa don't get the amount of games that the All Blacks get. I think All Blacks are close to 20 games this year, 15 or 16 games, where Samoa would get like 6 and usually 5. Like that would be the highest Samoa would get a year. So it's really hard to stay consistent. This year though, Samoa get a good amount of games. I think they get close to 10, or is that Fiji? Maybe that's Fiji. But that's got to be the next step, is to try and stay consistent. All of us in life is to, work as hard as we did today, tomorrow, have the same energy the next day, and being consistent.
Speaking of inconsistencies, the junior Manu team were walloped, as the Samoan Observer states, 123-15 by Scotland. Good old cricket score there.
Yeah.
What happened here?
Was it just refereeing?
Yeah, it must have been a ref.
It was all the ref's fault.
Well, that's a good thing. Like, you can't blame the ref on the score like that. On the score like that, it's not the ref.
Oh, okay.
There were Samoans were up in arms though. Like Samoans were like, "This is crap," and there were some Sevens players who were saying, "Oh, you got to bring in more foreign Samoan rugby players."
Is it the new rules?
What?
Is it?
It could be a lot of things.
I mean, because that's quite a big score.
Or you're just not good enough. You're really just not good enough. And I think that could be the case, because they got smashed by Japan, I think, the next game by 80 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like people got to keep it in perspective. Like, the goal is to have a great elite team. Your number one team is the aim, the Manu Samoa or the All Blacks. Under 20 should always be seen as a development. The goal is not to create the world best under 20s. Now the goal is to have the best men's team, or women's team.
But in perspective, though, a 3-digit deficit.
Well, that again is development. Like, you're learning where you're at. Every loss is like, okay, we're clearly not good enough. What are we going to do now to get better? So even a loss at that stage is a benefit. Like, okay, do I have the attitude to come back from this? Am I going to grind it out? Am I going to go and study? What the fuck is wrong? It's not just for the players, it's the management. What the fuck is wrong? Our coaching clearly is off here. And then how do you coach the next week after getting walloped by 100 points? That's an experience. So it should always be seen as a development. Sure, you got wasted, but don't worry. We're not trying to get you to be the world champions you're 19 years old. You're 18, 19 years old. We want you to take this experience so one day you're going to be an elite Manu Samoa player.
But it'll be forever on your Wikipedia page.
and they will learn to deal with that. And I'll just re-edit it when, you can edit it.
Hey, man, look at Japan in 95 when they got destroyed by the All Blacks.
Right.
149, whatever it was. I think it was nil. And then they beat South Africa
at the World Cup.
At the World Cup.
Because that's the aim. So regardless of what you go through, these are kids. Not legally now, but under 19s are so young. Come on, man. Under 20s are so young. I still think, because there were big calls to bring in foreign Samoan rugby players from the diaspora.
Your favorite words?
From the diaspora.
From the diaspora.
To
diaspora?
Yeah.
Diaspora.
How do you say it? Sorry, Mr. Woke.
Me?
Sorry about the nuances about this word.
I'm sure it's diaspora.
Diaspora. Okay, so so a lot of the foreign Samoans are saying this team's shit. We need to bring it. The foreign Samoans,
Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, Australia and New Zealand. Samoans who don't make the New Zealand under 20s, we need to bring them in because obviously the locals aren't good enough. But I still think that opportunity should always be for locals.
What's the ruling there? Like,
they can.
Yeah,
they can. You can.
But you'd push for more locals.
Yeah, I think it should just be kept local. Like, come on, man, it's under 20s. Like, you've got your New Zealand systems to go to. You've got all this technology, your gyms and resources here for New Zealand Samoan rugby players. There's not much opportunity for local Samoans to travel. The development's not just in the rugby, it's in the traveling. You know, is the go eat somewhere in a hotel. You know, it's all of that shit. Go talking, go practice your English.
It's cultural development.
Yeah, cultural development. And it's all the shit that young people must do, they should have. And it's not, under 20's got to be the best in the world. No, fuck, I really don't give a fuck about the result. It's what they do with the result that's important to me. Their development. It's great to fail. Failure is good, man. Learn from it. That's the best thing. Like, you will be a better person from failure than you will be from praise. Trust me. And that's why a lot of these people who don't make the All Blacks, they go play for England, they go play for other teams, Bandiaki, and then they fucking beat the All Blacks. Like, there's a different type of determination that comes out of failure than what you get out of success, than always being picked for the all New Zealand teams. The person who's always missing out is going to have some fucking edge to them. And then, so when I see Bandiaki beating the All Blacks with Ireland, you know, that's the type of shit. So embrace failure. There's nothing wrong with getting smashed. It's a good time it's a magnifying glass. Okay, what the fuck is wrong here? Yep. Management too, food, lots of things. And that's got to be how you look at it. And it's under 20s. Like, keep it in perspective. Yeah. We want to develop them for the Manu or for Manusina or for the top side. Now's the time to fail bad and work on your mistakes. But the top side should be where you want them to be at.
Well, all the best to Manu Samoa Juniors going forward. And it is that whole thing of, like, it's okay to fail. Yeah. Like, people are going to throw shit at them for the result, whatever it is. But, like, you can't expect to always be perfect. The losses will make you a lot stronger. Very few people in sporting get, like, that 0 next to their name where it's kind of spotless. Like, the only person that comes to mind is Floyd Mayweather, who's truly undefeated as a professional.
But in life, I bet you his growing up and shit.
Oh, his life was terrible.
There's a lot of
I'm just saying, like,
through.
You have to fail. Like, this is just...
And embrace it. Like, sometimes you just got to be, oh, well, I fucked up there.
Yeah.
Let's go again. You know, just go again. The next week, go again. Give it your best. Go again. Keep learning. Yeah. Critique yourself. Learn how to critique yourself, but never give up.
Well, on the other side of sporting, we're going to revisit the virtual world in esports. And it's the Futures sending a shout out to Super Soccer, the Tongan, the American Tongan boy who took out the Warzone World Cup champion in Dubai, I believe, or UAE. And yeah, he pocketed a nice, cool $1 million with his team, which is pretty awesome that this is where it's come to in video gaming. And it speaks of the times. And it's very cool also to see Pacific kids dominate. I think he's like in his early 20s. He's got a massive following on Twitch, on social media, but gaming is huge in the Pacific. There's a lot of our kids or a lot of our adults out here playing. What's your guys' thoughts on this? Gaming in the Pacific. We've seen proof that it's a job. Now our parents can't hang this over our heads.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Traditional athlete.
Good.
Good?
Yep.
Happy?
Yeah. Because I play game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you compete?
Not really.
Why not?
Because at the time I was playing, we didn't really have a...
Also fun, eh? It was for fun.
Yeah, it was for fun. I tried it into the Quake competition back in 2000. Yeah. That's right. But speaking of gaming, top 10 in New Zealand is mainly Pacifica.
Really?
Yeah. From Street Fighter, old school Street Fighter 2 to like
no
like
surprises
Call of Duty,
away. Fucking hell. Remember those dudes at Street Fighter who used to? Did you ever play someone who used to cover their fucking hands like this, and they used to play like that because they didn't want to teach you the moves and shit?
So were we talking about the guy with the jersey?
Yeah. Nah. Just
to gatekeep the moves.
Yeah, to gatekeep the moves, bro.
I've played against guys like that.
All of that now.
Yeah, bro.
Can't hide from the internet anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, Street Fighter, I've competed.
Yeah.
It's fine. There's a lot of Pacifica. I mean, in fact, a lot of the competitions here are held by, led by Pacifica as well. Or at least in Auckland anyway. I mean, probably our most decorated Street Fighter champion is part Samoan.
Aye.
So, he's travelled overseas and competed as well. So, there's a lot of molding Pacifica, and whether that be Street Fighter, fighting games, FPS, like, all up in there. Oh, and 2K as well.
2K as well, yeah. What's your thoughts on games? It's not your thing?
No, it's not. I have 4 young ones who I really am fussy about their screen time and devices.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not big on gaming, but good on you, man. Like, I'm not judging anyone's hustle, man. So I just don't think you should call it sport. That's all. But mate, you gotta do. Good point. Gotta do what you gotta do these days, and just it must be hard to to parent it. You know what I mean? Because like it for me, I'm trying not to. Well, I've got my kids off devices, but then what if you got a kid who's actually good at it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as a parent, our parents were like, games is bullshit. There's no future in it. But now they're throwing money at it. So I think I would give my kid like a window, like okay, you need to prove to me you're good, otherwise turn this shit off.
Yeah, there's a bit more leniency now, yeah.
And I guess that's why like the competitions and stuff like that. Like you can take them to locals,
take them to Armageddon.
Yeah, like there's a few more events now. Even just in general, you'll be able to judge. I know that you've played Street Fighter.
Yeah. I was elite, bro. Back in the days with the 50 cent and the 20 cent coin, and you had to put your coin up.
Yeah. I got next.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no arcades now, but there's like Tekken and things like that. So there's always online gaming. But
how much money can you make? Like, what is a feasible career? Because I would say, if you're living in New Zealand playing games, and if you can crack 60 grand a year, that's pretty good. Can you make 60 grand a year?
I mean, that's the thing, like with Twitch, because remember, alongside that, you'll probably have Twitch if you get sponsored.
Right.
They might cover your flights. So it might not be 60K cash, but you might have 60K combination of endorsements.
A whole bunch of things,
yeah. A whole bunch of things. So, like the guy that you were referring to a bit earlier.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Twitch. So that following from Twitch, he might have a Patreon. He might have Twitch subscribers paying X amount per month in US dollars.
A lot of this is, a lot of that would be rather self kind of like.
Yeah, that's just putting yourself out there as a brand. And, if people resonate with that, like people obviously like watching other people play games and the community around that, there's garner enough like-minded people, they'll be able to throw money at you. Of course, whatever they want in return is you being you, as long as you don't change.
Did they ever have a Journalomu one comp? Did they ever have one or no?
They were held at schools typically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I played one and I came second.
Oh wow!
I was pretty good at Journalomu rugby until I got beat by our mate Edgar. He kicked my ass. But no, they were kind of held locally, those games. Yeah, but they should bring them back because
it will start to come back as people start to host more offline.
Yes.
Like I know that a lot of the offline competitions now, say for like Street Fighter and stuff like that, they do have the opportunity for others to bring their consoles to run community-led competitions at their events. So you'll find the odd person doing like I know, whether that be like Rugby 08, for example.
Yeah.
And, you know, they'll run their own competitions and maybe have like a small pot of money. So side competitions are a thing, and I think you'll probably see those retro games
come back,
you know, and you can get people together to do it. So it's a lot easier to mobilize and organize people through online now than it was ever.
Were you ever on a game?
Yeah, you exist in rugby, one of the rugby games.
Rugby 08 must be.
Well, bro, I don't play anything, bro.
I mean, you as a 3D player inside the Manu Samoa team.
That's a pretty cool thing to have.
Especially now, like the NBA players, like they wait for their ratings. You know, oh, LeBron's a 99. It's like it's a big deal to them.
Yeah. But you know, there's publishing checks in that, eh? You should probably look into that, because a lot of those WWE wrestlers, like even if they're small time, if whatever kind of game that gets sold, they'll get a small cut off.
Yeah, hard out.
That's why I'm like my question to you last time regarding the you know, who owns your likeness.
Yeah, your image and your likeness.
You know, because you can find yourself in those games.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, oh, isn't that
hard out
projection of yourself that you can?
Well, there's a contract for that. It's an image rights contract, so you get paid for your image as well. So they pretty
How do
much
you license for like rugby games? Because they do it for soccer. So
yeah,
didn't even know, bro.
I know, but congrats to soccer, and congrats to all our competing Pacific esports athletes out there.
What would be another word if let's say they don't
gamer?
Oh yeah, game. What's wrong with gamer and gaming?
Competitive gamer.
I don't know why sports has to be used in athletes.
Esports is actually electronic sport, and they play.
Yeah, I blame the Americans.
Yeah,
the Americans said that.
It's like email's not real mail. Is that the same logic?
It's electronic.
That's not mail.
I sent a video to everyone earlier this week, and I don't know if you guys watched it, but just moving along from sports, we're getting into our culture part. But Spanian, who is the popular Australian vlogger, kind of turned his life of crime around and has entered, you know, the internet space as a vlogger, as a podcaster. He and his partner Samoan, they went to Samoa, and I was wondering if you guys watched it. And what were your thoughts on it? I thought to bring it to the conversation because it's always cool seeing people outside of the culture into the culture and just kind of get a look from their own lens. What was your thoughts on that, bro?
I only seen a bit of it. Yeah, it's just like another vlogger. It's just another person. There's so many of them out there now that go around the island and do their little one minute clips on TikTok, and yeah, it's another one. It's another one with a big following. The Rock has done it. Justin Bieber's done it.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good for advertising Samoa and advertising tourism. Yeah, it's all good. But it's been done by everybody. It's been they do it all the time. It's nothing new. But there's a lot of the number one tourist is still the overseas Samoan by far. That's the tourist that repeatedly returns to Samoa, that keeps coming back, keeps buying tickets, keeps buying hotels throughout the season. A lot of tourists, European, will come for one trip, and that's it. It's not to say that their videos don't matter. It does, but the most valuable economic tourist is the diaspora. It's the overseas tourist, the overseas Samoan.
Yeah.
That is the most important to the Samoan economy because they come many times a year.
Yes.
And they come every year. And they come for funerals, they come for matai titles, they come for reunions, and they spend. And that's always been the most important type of tourist for Samoa. So it's great that but sometimes these foreign Samoans need to see it. Yeah. From a foreigner, you know. Sometimes we wait for a Balangi to do it before we're like, yeah, let's go back. But so it's great that he did it. But you know, tourism is not everything, And you're seeing them in places like Bali and Hawaii where they're having a lot of issues, indigenous land issues, usage of water, where more than 60% of Bali's water is used by the tourism industry. Swimming pools, showers, golf courses, laundry.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. And so the rice fields now are starting to close because the water's getting more expensive. And so, yeah, that's affecting there. You see the homelessness in Hawaii. It's the 4th highest homelessness in the whole of America. They have massive issues with...
as a state?
Yeah, as a state. So they have massive issues with the housing crisis, with homelessness of indigenous people. You know, they can't afford to buy houses with the, what's that one, Booking.com and things like that, where people... Airbnb. Oh, yeah. Where like one person's buying up all the properties and then just leaving them empty and waiting until they're booked out while indigenous people are homeless. And there's massive things like pollution, overcrowding. They have so many issues with tourism in these big places that you don't hear about. You don't hear about what's happening in Bali, where the president said that he would return 12,000 acres to the indigenous people, but he hasn't. You know, so there's a lot about tourism, and it's always trying to find the balance, you know, obviously the economic benefits versus the cultural side of it. Because what also happens is the culture starts to become performative. So in Samoa, we have many dances, for example, but the one that tourists want to see is the sivafi. Yeah. And so now it becomes more important to be a good sivafi dancer than to be a siva Samoa or to know how to do all the traditional ones. And they're seeing that overseas. It's also catering for tourists. They had an issue in Bali where a lot of tourists are doing stupid things in traditional sites. Like a couple of Russian dudes dance naked in front of a very important monument, and you know, things like that become an issue. Yeah, and so there's a lot of things to balance. When tourism comes, there's obviously a lot of social costs as well, homelessness, for example, and all of that is incurred by the local people. Prices go up, as we're seeing in Samoa. When I was living there before the lockdown, it was like $2 for a new, and now it's $10. So everything goes up. Yeah, and then you get dudes like Max Key who have come in with new vision investment. You know, he's come in and told the Prime Minister of Samoa that he has a vision where Samoa can benefit economically and we should do this. Like,
is that John Key's son?
Yeah, John Key's son. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, he's come in with his own ideas of what Samoa should do. And
he came with the Chinese investor.
Yeah, with the Chow brothers who made their millions in New Zealand running brothels, strip clubs, prostitution, and gambling. And now they're coming to Samoa saying, look, we've got these ideas where you can benefit economically. Now, business people are fucking business people, man. They come to places because they know they can make shitloads from there. And so this is what Samoa is to them. It's a cash cow. And this is another effect of tourism, is foreign ownership. Okay, so they come in, they lease the land, or they buy the land, they lease the land. And what's happening in Bali is when they leave, because they've concreted the foundations for their hotels and shit, you cannot reverse it now. It's going to take a lot of money to try and get rid of all the concrete and all of the infrastructure that they had there with their leases to put it back to farmland. So pretty much you can't. And so you've lost that land. And there are heaps of leasing issues where, like, Samoa had 99-year leases for like fucking 50 tala a month.
Yeah, one tala.
Yeah, one tala a month. And then down the line, 4 generations down the line, the Samoans now don't know that was their land in the first place. Okay? So it's shit like that. There's so many issues when dealing with tourism that you really have to watch out. You look to Bali, look to Hawaii, the 2 most popular tourist destinations in the Pacific, and learn some fucking lessons, because tourism is not the shining light that people think it is. They're like anything economic, man. There are costs, and a lot of it is social costs. So costs that in economics you don't count. So economics only count like the cost of money. It won't count that you've polluted the whole fucking land and there's no fresh water. That's not a cost. That's not an economic cost. Okay, so there's a lot of things when tourism comes into play. So that's cool. He's doing that, you know, showing his followers all of that shit, and it's been done before. It's been done before, and it'll be done again. But like I said, there's a lot of things that you got to watch out for with tourism that I don't think anyone gives a fuck. But
like
everything I just said.
Right. Yeah. No, it's interesting because like that YouTube space, that travel space has always been like, you'll see travel kind of travel marketing businesses. They all lean on that now. Like a lot of them are going under because a lot of the vloggers that are coming through. It's always a nice look. But I think you're right in that regard. There's another YouTuber called Peter Santanalo, who just did a whole piece on Hawaii. So he did the touristy thing, and then he went to the indigenous Hawaiians. Right. And he sat and he talked with them, and he got them to show them what the island is actually like.
They fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Indigenous
They do.
Hawaiians
they do.
hate tourism.
They do.
Yeah.
So you always get the side, but would your preference would be to show the, I guess, the not so nice side of the place?
No, bro. Show what you want. Show what you want. The caretaking of Samoa's economic situation is not the responsibility of the tourist.
Yeah,
it is the responsibility of the leaders and the people to understand that, you know, tourism is great. It does bring in shit, but there's a lot of other. It brings in everything. It brings in benefits and detriments. Okay, so you got to keep an eye out for all of that and find a balance. Unfortunately, everything economic is contrary to nature. It's just how it goes. Money and nature just don't go together. And so you have to find your balance because people need their cash. And and we're a small island, so it's limited resources. You know, so it's all that, all these things that you can take a lot of it out of the leaders' hands by, you know, your own villages and your own properties and shit and understanding all of that. But tourism is not without its negative
downside.
Side. Yeah. But I mean, that's cool, and he loves it. But don't forget that the big money comes from the Samoans overseas because they come back for many different reasons, but they come back a lot. Yeah. They spend a lot. And it's never one trip. They always come back many times, and that's always the most important. Even though they try and put across this facade, oh, foreign Samoan, oh, you're this, you're that. Economically, you're still the most important. The remittances, the return trips, you know, you're still very valuable, and just don't be eat-ass about it, that's all.
Fair enough. We... me and the Minority Report boys had done a set of videos the past couple of weeks.
Troublemakers, man. Troublemakers.
Shout out to we got some bass happening. We'll let this pass.
Yo.
We are filming at night on a Friday, so that makes sense.
Right, but there's no bass out in Rewa. It's all the fucking sirens.
It is. You'll get
there's no bass now. Bro, it used to be bass back in the days. Like everyone's got these sirens now. It's so loud.
So tinny. Me and the boys from Minority Report, shout out to the Minority Report boys. We went out to the streets and we asked a question which, yes, I did understand how it could strike a little bit of controversy, but at the same time, I thought it was a pretty important point of conversation. And the question was, do Pacific Islanders get the N-word pass? And that brought up a whole bunch of conversations from the black community, not just in New Zealand, but in America, but also the Pacific community. Funnily enough, the Māoris have spoken up loudly about this, but maybe I can start and pass the question to the group. Can we say the N-word, Junior?
People, use the N-word indirectly. So in context, it's like use the N-word as a description, describing it. So it's like the word fuck, right? So I don't call him fuck, but I call Ali a fucker. Or something, so
the fuck are you talking about?
it's like the fact you're talking about, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's because I know that people use it just to label them.
Yeah.
You know, so you say the N word just to label them out of just, you know. But there's others where, like, when I saw what's his name, Dave Chappelle. Chappelle's they're talking about there was the cereal, and it's called he was just referring to
Dave Chappelle.
yeah, he was referring to N-word, you know, begin please. Yeah, so that sort of content, you know, it's talking about that. But if it's not really a race thing, it's sort of like an insult. You know, people use it as an insult. Yeah, so it's how you use it to the context of what you done.
It's interesting.
Because that's the angle I look at. You know?
So basically you're saying yes. Basically you're saying yes.
Or sometimes.
Or sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, interesting. What about you, Tama? Can Pacific Islanders say the N-word?
Well, they can if they want to.
Oof.
They can if they want to. It's as simple as that.
True.
But you're not free from the consequences of saying it. Like if you get, you know, if someone throws hands at you, and you know, by all means.
Yeah.
Like you choose to say it, and you choose to you
okay.
choose to accept the repercussions of what that means, and you know, context is generally, I mean, you know, who like it's their what people saying it's their word or it's our word. The thing is with, you know, because it's mainly associated with African American, right? If you look at what, you know, if you look at them as or at least what they've produced as a cultural export, that word comes along with that too.
Yeah.
And so in the context of pop culture, now that word is almost a household word. In other words, like everyone, well, I'm generalizing, everyone kind of understands what, you know, to a certain extent where that word comes from, or others might call it, you know, proximity to black or whatever it is. You know, people understand that there is some venom behind that word. So regardless, like, yeah, you can say it, but you're not free from the consequences of saying it. And so if you choose to say that word, then, you know, be prepared to be called out on it. You know, you got to be prepared to justify why you're using that word. Like, I know that, you know, looking at history itself, I know that Pacific Island people and that word, there is a relationship there because, you know, been called it in the past. You know, anyone that was darker was considered, you know, the N-word. So, you know, I know that there's a lot of justification because of that. But at the same time, I'll go back and just say, yeah, you can say it if you want to, but again, repercussions, that's on you. Okay. Yeah, just be prepared to accept them.
Yeah, and people might just block you. That's it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. It might not just be swinging at you, but like block you online. What's that? Cancel you. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could lose your job over it.
Yeah,
like this is the thing. It's been demonstrated.
Yes.
The consequences of it. So
yeah,
you know, if you're happy to
okay, so
go down
frame that
path.
if you're a Pacific person and you're in an office space and you get into a fight with your manager or whoever, and you call that person the N-word.
You're done, bro. You're done. Especially in corporate space, bro. You're done. Yeah. So like that's
As a Pacific person,
yes,
you're done.
I reckon they'll be confused for a bit.
Yeah, but if you get called out on it, like there's grounds because that's still considered, you know, like misconduct.
Right.
Because remember the intent is to call, like it comes with venom. Is the cause the intent may be to harm.
What happens if it was said without venom?
Well, then it's on the policies of HR.
Okay.
And how they view it. It's just like, okay, if it's okay for you to say it, then if this person says it and it's reflected as venom, then they may want to act objectively and go, actually, I want to ban this word across the board. So then, even if it kind of, even if you think you can say it, you know, again, HR might turn around and say, hey,
right,
like, you know, we're going to enforce this policy. Maybe you'll get a warning. I don't know. it just, again, repercussions on that because it's quite sensitive.
Yeah.
Still,
Like, depending on where you sit in relation to that word and its origin.
Ellie, can Pacific Islanders say the N-word?
It's there's a lot to unpack, like seriously, like, and I think it needs to be unpacked because we get a lot of American media. The world gets a lot of the American media, and I feel like the reason why it's always associated with African Americans is because of the media. Like, we get everything from America. You know, everything's on the news, their movies, their music. We don't get anything from Africa. Let's say we didn't get anything from America and we got everything from Africa. This wouldn't even be a discussion. Like, no one would use the N-word because they don't use it over there. It's only because of our history, and this is only a discussion because Black Americans tend to gatekeep. I say this respectfully, but
and so they should for their culture, right?
well, no, because the problem is that a lot of people don't understand that the same people who colonized America fucking colonized Australia, colonized New Zealand, colonized many of these black nations. And like they use the N-word there, they also use the N-word here. They use the N-word in Australia. There are still, there were place names that up until 2015 in New Zealand used the N-word. So there's Higgin Hill. And guess what? All three places are in Canterbury. Okay, so
In South Island, eh?
yeah, Canterbury, Christchurch.
Yeah,
You know, of course it would be. So at the base of the Southern Alps, there are three places.
Say it.
No,
Say it because it's the name. It's the name of the place.
Yeah, the problem is if I say N-word, N-word stream, N-word hill, it's just not the same. You know, I don't think you feel the pain.
Yeah, that's why I mean by the context.
Yeah.
Because if you call a person N-word, that's sort of like there's an intent in that, you know.
I don't even think intentions. I think the intention's already in the word. Like, when you say the word, it just bad straight away. It just sounds bad. So, like, when you hear, if I say N-word hill, that's not the same. If I say Higgin Hill, just automatically it's like, bro, what the fuck? They named that.
You start thinking about slavery. You start thinking about who they killed on this hill.
And like, New Zealand has these places: Higgin Hill, Higgin Stream, and Higgin Head. All right, these three places in the Southern Alps. Only in 2015 they changed because somebody wrote into Upston and said, "Look, these three are offensive." So the New Zealand government hadn't done fuck all about it. Someone had to write in. And so she gives it to the geographic board and says, yeah, we got three places in New Zealand that are have got the N-word in it. Can you do something about it? So they go, okay, we're going to take submissions. Out of the 200 submissions, 60 of them were like, what's wrong with it? That's so fucking Christchurch, right?
That's so fucking New Zealand,
right?
Bro.
Yeah. So,
And what?
and you know what they did? They went back to Upston and go, we got some people who have made a really good argument to keep it. Oh, fuck.
What was the argument? What's wrong with it? That's the argument?
Exactly. Like, and? You know, it's Christchurch. You know, we all know that place. And so she goes back, change the fucking name. And so they changed two of them. And then they get stuck on a third one because it was going to be like Steelhead Stream or something named after the trout, but are not actually indigenous to the area. But anyway, 2015, you know, we still had places named with the N-word in New Zealand. 2017, in Queensland, they decide to change 11 places that have the N-word in their name. Again, I hate saying that, bro. I really hate saying it, but... Okay, so there's Higgin Head, Higgin Stream again. I think there's 7 Higgin Streams in Queensland in Australia. And so only in 2017 they decide to change the names. So I don't think people understand our history. If you go to the old newspapers, and you know I do a lot of research, so I'm fucking disclosing my sources now. If you go to the old newspapers, it's online, and you search the N-word, New Zealand newspapers, you'll get 260,000, what do you call it?
Or like lists, or like hits.
Articles?
Articles. 260,000 articles starting from 1840 right up until the end of 1990, so the 1990s. 260,000 articles with the N-word. And so I go through and start looking at what are these articles. Fucking New Zealand Herald used to print articles with the N-word. It's crazy. So they printed one called Lonely Pussycat. Right, and it starts off, Egan is a cat, blah, blah, blah. Egan is this. Egan has a friend. And just throughout, you just have this N-word throughout this article published by New Zealand Herald. There's an article published in the Manawatu newspaper that is, it says there are 3 types of murders. When a white person, when a murders a white, kills a white person, it's murder. When a white person kills again, it's justifiable homicide, meaning that there must be a good reason for it. Yeah, and then when a nigga kills an again, it's one less again. This was published in the Manawatu newspapers, right? And then they have transcripts of radio discussions, and they're just using the N-word like it's nothing, but still in a very bad way, to describe Māori and black people. I read another one, just little simple things that are always put in the newspaper with the N-word. There was one of Cambridge Primary School, published in the Waikato newspaper, and they had a fancy dress, a costume day, and they list out all the students and what they came as. So it'll be like Sarah Willis, next to it, Princess, James Smith, Fireman, and then it's got John Beach, Wigan Boy. Like, fuck, man, this is how it was in New Zealand. From 1840 to the late 1990s, over 260,000 articles with the N-word in it. It was normal.
That's a lot of articles, and you have to factor in
crazy.
You have to factor in how small New Zealand is.
It's fucking crazy. Exactly. So to them it was nothing. And then there's an article describing a really important conference. It's a Māori leadership conference that happened in the 60s. And they were discussing why there's a problem with multiculturalism in New Zealand. And they talk, well, because kids in New Zealand, in all the kindergartens, they sing this song called 10 Little Wigan Boys. You guys heard that song?
Yeah.
And all the kids read Black Sambo. And it's again, like the drawings and all of that are really bad. And all the kids read Wigan, my cat. It's about a cat named Wigan, right? And so they're saying this is why. And these kids grow up and they learn terms like what Maridika said, working like in the woodpile. Like that's all become normalized.
And if you look at his age, that's an old white man.
Right. But to him, it was normal. He said it like it's normal. And we don't understand because a lot of us, how many of us have read any old newspapers? Like they have successfully not put that in the curriculum and just told us Americans were slaves. Like and we've learned about blackbirding. We've learned about fucking Māori being banned from their language, being banned from their own land, murdered, burned alive, women and children burned alive in marae. Now we're learning that, but there was all this other shit, all the non-violent, all the psychological warfare. It wasn't just the physical killing and extermination. It was extermination of self-belief and culture in newspapers, in radio stations, media, and the transcripts are there. Because remember, there was no TV most of that time, but everything was on radio.
Yeah.
Everything was on radio, and they're just using the N-word hard out. Like, we don't know this. All we know is America, because their shit gets beamed every fucking day. We know about Biden and Trump. We don't know about who's the leader of Slovenia, who's the leader of
I think Biden
Nigeria.
would say Putin.
Yeah, well, and so we get told to do everything America tells us.
Yeah.
And part of America forcing us, their media, is the Black American experience and their words and their culture. So we get that. And we are right now in a generation that's rediscovering ourselves. And we've brought up so much of our history, like our generation. We've brought it back, so much of it. And we're bringing back you look back and you see the N-word everywhere, man. And it's no wonder why, like, the white Balangi kids called us all of that. I was called that at school. That is my experience, right? And so I go do a search in the Australian old newspapers. They have over 600,000 hits on the N-word. So fuck, and what they did is crazy. And they're going through now, like, renaming shit. Like, Like there's a place called Victory in Tasmania, and it's called Victory because that's where they completely exterminated all the black people.
Yep.
Like complete extermination, wipe out. They didn't take slaves. They wiped out every single black person and then named that spot. Yes, we did it. And so now they're renaming places like that. It's not just the places that have named the N-word, but all these other places like Townsville is actually named after Robert Towns, who went on slave expeditions. And so there was a big issue on that. There was a rugby league stadium that just recently had a documentary called Ligon Lovers, and it was about part of the stadium was called like the NB Wigan Brown Stadium, and they didn't want to change it. Like there's the N-word is entrenched in New Zealand and Australian history, and that's what we don't know about. And that's why a lot of the old people fucking hate it. And that's why I don't like it. I don't like it, not because of the music that I hear from Black America. With respect, I don't like the N-word because that shit was said to our ancestors. Yeah. That shit was said to our people here. And I don't want that energy. Like, that's why that's why we did Pacific history shit about, we made sure we used the word brilliant all the fucking time. Pacific people are brilliant, beautiful, wonderful, amazing. Because words are fucking spells, man. And you say it enough and people believe it. All right? Even lies. You say a lie enough, people will believe it, think it's the truth. Like, words are fucking weapons. They're so powerful. And that's why I always try and use brilliant to describe Pacific people. Brilliant, beautiful. I'm not going to use that fucking word, man. That word came from the conscious in the mind of a fucking piece of shit white colonizer somewhere, and that's why I don't use it. It's not about, oh, you're kissing ass to Black Americans. No. Like, the more I learn about that word here in New Zealand and Australia and to all black people around the world, fuck, why would I want to use it? And there's so many other words, like, what's up, Wuso? What's up?
Yeah.
You know, what's up, bro?
Because that's what the word's turned into now for the Black American community. It's like, what's up, my N-word? It's like a localized word.
I can't find endearment. I can't find it. I'm not going to try and reclaim that word. Like, fuck that word.
Sup, coconut?
Yeah. Well,
but it's just, yeah.
But I don't even hear that.
But that's obviously not on the same level. But, you know, how can you endear yourself to a slur?
But yeah, exactly. Like,
I've always felt it's kind of like, for a lot of the Pacific kids they usually hear, it's a fear cool thing. Because
it's a wannabe black. Like,
it's a wannabe
seriously.
black thing. That's what it is. That's what I've seen it as. I've heard it as a youngin', like when I hear young kids rap, they use it. They
black
use all the
culture is
Americans.
amazing, and it is amazing. But like, that's why a lot of the stuff that we have discussed, like the great navigators and all of that, we are just learning that in this generation. And that's why, you know, a lot of our people will latch on to American media and to all of that because we don't know ourselves. We have lack of self at the moment, and we are rediscovering ourselves right now. And I think that's why we've latched on to, you know, we say fear black as in like, oh, you want to be black all the time. But I just think that the more that we discover of ourselves and learn of ourselves, that you'll understand these issues a bit more. I'm not going to judge anyone who uses it because fuck, that's a lot of people's experience. Like, seriously, a lot of our people were called that shit. I was called that shit. So I'm not going to say you can't say it and all of that. I will call them out, though. I'm definitely, if someone uses it around me, but bro, why are you saying that? Do you know? Do you know why you say that? Like, I have reasons not to use it, but some other people have probably reasons to use it. So
whenever I hear a rap track here and then the Ed word comes out, just pops out, I turn that shit, because it's just like, it's that whole thing of like I love hip hop to the extent where don't be lazy with your words. Like, that's just being lazy. And that's where that kind of fear cool thing comes from. Because like when you use that word, it's like, why?
Yeah, I know, but that's
I hear it quite often.
Oh, bro, they're using it a lot. Bro, there's Indian kids using it a lot now.
Yeah.
Like the Indian kids at the school be using it. My kids be coming home. Yeah, it's only the Indian boys who are saying that word. It's like, shit. I don't know, but there's a really long history of it being used in New Zealand. Go look up the 3 places in Christchurch, Canterbury that they just renamed in 2015. That, like, we even had places with the N-word that people don't even know about. Did you guys know about it?
Yeah, I remember the whole Christchurch thing.
Well, fuck you guys in.
No, but I remember it, but it's good that you made me remember it because I laughed at it at the time. I was like, typical Christchurch.
Fuck yeah. Of all the places, like you say, what? They had the N-word, and then you'll say Christchurch, everyone go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just a massive history here, and with the whole extermination of Māori, the eradication as well of Māori and trying to all the racist laws with Pacific people, the blackbirding. There's a lot of that word that was used here and shit, but I just, and like Thomas said, like you can use it in terms of we don't. It's not like something you're going. Some magical thing's gonna go like, duh. We can't control what comes out your mouth, right? That's what you mean, no? Right? Yeah, I mean you can use it.
Yeah,
but fuck, I don't want to use it. Like, why would I want to? There's many different words I could use. There's such a fucked up history behind that word. But at the same, like, I'm so grateful that there were all those articles. I got to read. Holy shit! New Zealand Herald. You fucking pieces of shit. You come across like, we're bringing all these news articles for New Zealand. We love New Zealand. And those...
I used to work at NZME, so
New Zealand Herald were publishing the N-word like it was nothing, And you look at this history and you're like, fuck, man.
The N and NZ, eh?
Bro.
Bar.
But you always gotta take it up another level.
It's an interesting one. Can we say it at concerts? If Kendrick Lamar tells us to jump on stage and say it like he's done previously to white people?
Would you in turn throw hands at him?
It's not my word.
What?
I've been accustomed not to say it anyway. Ever since I was
It's not one of those things like if I'm in the car by myself and I'm listening to hip hop music, I will sing it to myself. If I'm out in public, no. But in the context of hip hop, when all my favorite artists are, it's like they're black artists. And I'm listening and reading their lyrics, I'm gonna say it. But I also know that to not say it publicly. So it is
Yeah, man.
You're looking at me in disgust.
Oh no!
If you read it on paper, do you?
Because it's the whole thing where like you're
in your mind.
Do you say it in your mind?
But it's the whole thing. You're at a concert, right?
Or does it automatically
You're at
censor
a
it in your
concert.
mind?
There's 50,000 people, and Snoop Dogg is rapping. Everyone's gonna say it.
Yeah,
and no one's gonna
say it anyway.
Look, we're different, okay? Part of the colonization was to make sure that you do what Baalangis do. You value what they value. That's the colonial process, is that all your interests are the same as theirs, all your values are the same as theirs. Like, there has to be something where you don't think like them. You don't have their standard. If all white people are doing something, sit back and go, nah, I'm not that. Fuck.
Well, it's not that they're doing it. I'm doing it because I love the track.
Well, I just, oh, fuck. I don't know, man. I'm not using it. That's all I can control is just, I don't like the word. I'll slap someone who fucking calls me that. Seriously. Even if you try to say it like,
term of endearment.
Yeah, it's a term of endearment. No, that word's loaded. That word is loaded. It's been used for fucking over 200 years in New Zealand to fucking psychologically fuck up our people, to exterminate their self-belief, to impose white superiority and your inferiority. That word has been loaded for so long. I don't want to use it. I don't want to hear it. But at the same time, I'm not going to judge anyone because, fuck, you guys have all been through your own injustices, your own journeys. People have said it to you, so who the fuck am I to fucking try and tell you, oh, you shouldn't say it when people were calling you that? It is what it is. And I just wanted to bring you a bit of history to it.
No, it's all the more important news. And big shout out to Whakata Māori for taking the concept of our videos.
No, big shout out to Minority Report. Big shout out to you guys for going to the streets and seeing where we're at. And if you don't like the comments that were made, fuck, it is a reflection of where we are at. That's people have said it. Okay, that's where we are at. Fuck. Like we can't control what people say and what they feel, but you know, we can bring up more information so people can make better decisions. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's what they said. Okay, that's what they said. Nah, shout out to you guys for bringing it up, and shout out to other people who have copied you. Because clickbait.
Clickbait. All right. Well, I think we kind of just reached a good decision that it's probably not the thing to say. Or it isn't the thing to say.
I don't know.
I
think it's up to you. I like, man, it's...
You said the word is loaded.
I think it's loaded. For me.
But in general, it is loaded. Because, you know, as you're saying, we consume a lot of this culture. I mean, it is the primary export, right? And you could say potentially as part of the imperialism as well.
Absolutely.
So with that, I know that, like, people know it's there. Like, you can't play dumb with this anymore. No. And this is, the simple answer is no.
Yeah.
Simple answer is no.
Simple answer is no. But again, it is loaded. We have a relationship with it, as you've outlined.
Yeah.
But yeah, just...
I don't know, man. I love my people. I love our people.
Got a gun to your head, will you say it? That's the thing.
No, but that's a bad hypothetical because that's never going to happen.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the thing. Like, I can't control what someone says. Like, you know, if you want to say it, but consequences are there.
No, our people are brilliant, wonderful, beautiful, amazing. There's many beautiful words out there you can use. You know,
don't use it when you're angry.
Yo. Don't do a lot of things when you're angry.
Yeah.
Don't use the bottle.
I always find it funny when you get into, like, well, I've been into, like, verbal spars with, like, Baalangis, and they go to that.
Yes,
they go to that.
Absolutely,
as the thing that they think is gonna hurt you. And like, and I'm like, you're so stupid,
bro. That's a massive point, though. You see, that's a massive point. You get them in a corner, and it's like their trump card.
Coconut
here,
fob.
Yeah,
go back to where you come from.
But fob, they know fob doesn't do that much. But the N-word, bro.
Yeah.
And then you can claim provocation. There's a case where someone has said the N-word and got boxed in and provocation, but provocation only lessens the charge. So
lessons.
Yeah.
So in a system that was led by the oppressor.
Exactly.
Oh, dear.
Exactly. So that's a really good point because they bring that out to bring out the violence.
Yeah, and they know
get you in jail. That's a really good point. So
the baiting, right?
Oh yeah, they know. They know.
Oh, man.
So, they know what to use because they won't fight.
Wow, that's a really good point. That's a really good point because a lot of our people cannot articulate themselves well verbally, but in actions, like the way they love is not by I love you. They will go do stuff for you. And the same also happens with anger and calling the N-word to someone.
Walk the walk.
Yeah, we'll end up boxing them, but guys, you can't do that now. Like, you know, white people, they don't try and fight back. They'll go straight to the police.
Just make a TikTok video about them, mock them, and that's over.
Yes.
You're good.
Yes. And, so we say it's loaded, but at the same time, be able to just let it, like roll off you, you know, like water on a duck's bottom or something. Yeah. You know? You know where the water just falls off? Of a duck's back. Yeah, that's it. But anyway, so it's loaded, but not to the extent that it gives you an excuse to get in jail, because that's be able to, I'm not going to let this word overpower me and control me, you know, like they try to use it for many years, all right, to psychologically control our people, be able to fight back with words or be able to just like, fuck off if they use it, because that's what happened to me. And they always think, well, I'm going to use this to win this argument and make you feel like shit, I'm going to chuck this N-word.
And it's nice. I mean, it's not nice, the word, but it also reveals the actual character trait of someone when they go to the lowest denominator. And you go, oh, okay, that's who you are. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, that whole time.
You want to call me? Oh, okay, that's what you are.
Yeah, that's their go-to. So they know. They know that word is bad. They know that word is bad, and they're just picking their time. They're just, you know. But be able to. So that's That's not a whether or not we can use it. That's can we take it if it's said to us with ill intention, and be able to take it. Be able to, okay, I'm not going to lose my mind when someone does say it to me to hurt me, because they're big on that. These Karens come out, Karens and
Karens
Kyles,
are the worst.
Yeah, they come up and try to instigate violence, and they try and get you arrested, and they do. It does happen to a lot of our people. So just be aware of that. It's not just using it. That's the issue. It's being able to take it.
Make sure that camera's on.
Yeah.
Make sure that camera's on your car, everywhere where the Karen is out. And
just please don't go and fucking take one sentence out of what we've said and then try and cancel us. Like this is a whole fucking discussion, and view it in its entirety, because some of these sentences that we say, you know, if you cut out one sentence, you could probably get us.
Oh man, but that takes effort. That takes effort to think for yourself.
These
Oh
people,
man,
bro.
I just want a minute video. You know, I just want you clicking on it. Oh, that takes effort, man.
Yeah. But I'm a no just for the record. Okay?
In for no.
You woke, exhausting white people. You would go do bloody think pieces on this and peer reviews. Shit. It's a no from me. But, you know, I love our people, and if they say it, then, you know,
okay.
then we'll work together on finding some better words to say. Because there are many better words.
All right. Well, just in conclusion of the pod, before we wrap it up, we wanted to end on a memorial in some ways, but just a remembrance to the godfather of South Auckland hip hop, Ermehn, as he's been known. I don't know if you guys have had any interactions with him. Have you met the bro?
No.
You guys had any interactions? Surely, Junior used to work for A-Bro. Filmed him a couple of times.
He was a good man.
He was a good man?
Yeah.
He's an interesting character.
I mean, I normally bump into him at when he would...
Security guard?
Security.
Yeah.
Yeah, at bouncer at the door.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah, so...
And it's one of those things, like, if you didn't know much about Pacific hip-hop and R&B in the early 90s...
Who's the man?
Yeah, he was kind of a breakout artist in his own right, in that a lot of earlier artists sounded like the American counterparts. Ermehn sounded like a guy from Otara. And he was very raw and traditional in the hip-hop sense, where he was using a lot of boom bap, as a lot of older artists would use a lot of G-funk if they were like gangster rappers. But now he passed away in this article on the 17th. So we're almost like a year away from his passing. He passed away to a health condition. And they're doing a big kind of an event over in Otara on this Wednesday, which is the 17th, I believe, 16th, 17th. But yes, just a huge name. And I wanted to bring this to the table because I went to his funeral last year, and I ran into Matthew, Anonymous, who's a music producer here from Mangere, who recorded his last album, I believe. And he was filming him at the memorial. And it was interesting because I was like, man, Sully, you should be mourning with everyone else. And I asked him then, he was like, nah, man, there's no media here. There's no media here to cover this guy, because this guy spoke out against everyone. He was no one's friend in the industry. I remember early interviews in Māori TV where he called out the whole hip-hop summit, where they based it up in Aotearoa Square in the city. Hip-hop summit was this big kind of hip-hop festival that encompassed all of New Zealand's acts, and he called them out on it, asking why they're trying to centralize it when all the talent is really from South Auckland, and you're taking away this opportunity from kids who can't afford the parking or even the bus fare to get out. And so he was this guy. He would call out everyone on their bullshit. He'll rap about it. And if you had a problem, he would meet you anywhere you wanted to meet. So I've only met him once, but he was one of the three artists I wanted to work with as a music video director earlier on in my career. And those three artists were Scribe, and I got to work with him. The second artist was Uptown Sweet from California, Samoa, who I haven't got to work with, but hopefully soon. And Ermehn was the third one, and I got to work with him on a music video with The Movement. So I kind of ticked two of the three, so I was pretty happy that I got to work with three of my favorite Samoan artists, but massive loss for the like more so the Otara and the Samoan hip hop community, as opposed to the wider sense, because he didn't give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
He didn't give a fuck about.
And that's real hip hop, bro. It's not giving a fuck, man. Say your piece, especially like against like the corporates and stuff, man. Yeah, Kalofai.
And he would end up, well, he was a security guard, so obviously you would have met him in a lot of those places as well. But he was also a proud father. One of his kids ended up playing for the Wallabies. Lukan Sakaria Lotu was his son, who was a Wallaby. Hopefully he can play for Samoa because he's still very young. Because he's moved over to Europe. And then his other son, Rhyme, I believe his name is, obviously from his hip hop heritage. Rhyme is a very talented fighter who's fighting over in Australia, I believe. So, yeah, no, he's done his work, but he was one of those guys. Also, and I forgot to mention, he was one of the original members of the Otara Millionaires Club as well, alongside Fale Fuimaono and
that's two of them down then.
that is two of them down. Actually, three of them. There's Phil, there's
Paulie's gone,
and then there's Ermehn. Yeah, so he was one of the original members as well. So I believe he was the hype man, eh? He was the hip hop hype man. Yeah, so he's got hip hop roots hard, and I love that story of we just talked about black culture, right? But I love the story of because I always see hip hop as a thing that we've used. A lot of us have used to find our roots back to our culture. Because you see a lot of rappers now representing uso, tangane, like everything, right? But that's hip hop vernacular, kind of using, kind of finding our Pacific selves, which I think is pretty cool. And Herman was, it was very cool hearing uso on the radio earlier on in the 90s. Very, very uncommon back then, but very cool.
Hard out, definitely.
But yeah, that's us for.
Oh, just one more thing. I just want to thank Villa, Anna, and Licky. I went and watched the Red, White, and Brass. Yeah, the production about the Tongan band that played at the 2011 World Cup. Absolutely loved it. It was wonderful. It was so good. Took my kids there. They loved it as well. It's a brilliant pick. It's a brilliant
it's a show.
Theatre, yeah.
It's kind of a theatre / musical. I was supposed to go, but I haven't. I was busy all last week. But for people that don't know, it's the movie. It was one of New Zealand's highest grossing movies of last year, Red, White, and Brass. I think it was like second or third, which is amazing.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and so it did really well locally. It did well in Australia, and I'm sure it smashed in Tonga as well. But that movie went on to become a stage play. Yeah. Which is interesting because I actually talked to the producer of the movie, Nua Finau, and so he was approached by, I think it was Auckland Theatre Company, and they would say, hey, your movie would make an excellent play. Wow. And Nua was like, play? Like, oh, what? And then he rocked up to like some of their marketing meetings, and they were selling tickets for like upwards to like $80 to $100. Yes. So they're very, and it's like,
that's what I heard.
Yep. It's a theatre community where they, it's still kind of, there's a different audience for it, basically.
Different audience. And they gladly pay that amount.
And they gladly pay.
That's normal price.
That's normal. And so when he saw that, and he was like, cool, all my guys are getting paid. So he was happy to kind of, let that project be. But yes, shout out to Vela and Anna. They've been stalwarts.
And Licky, apparently.
Licky
was,
Nguyen Bunga writer, I believe.
Yeah, he was, I think, the main one in this one.
Yeah.
But it was awesome, man. Like, it really
What are your thoughts?
It was brilliant. I loved it. I loved the Tongan flags are waving hard out in it. I loved the cast, the range, the music.
My music.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wait, so you worked on it?
No. The particular soundtrack they played.
Yeah.
I mean, they played the sound music. Chris told me about it.
Right.
Because he went there and he goes, it's playing our music that we produced back in 2015. I mean, nothing new records.
Did you get paid for it?
Yeah, did they ask?
It's all right.
Do we need to talk to APRA?
It was brilliant. At the end, like I'm a sucker for the cultural think about your ancestors and and so like I had to like act like I was grabbing something because I was fucking tearing up, bro.
That's beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
Damn, he got me.
I'm assuming, and I don't know if this is a spoiler. We could probably edit it out, but did it end with the father-son? Like in the movie? Yeah.
It ended with the band. So it was really cool because spoiler, because the original band was playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And they gave a shout out to them, and because it's a true story.
It is.
That's how cool it is. It's a nice feel good story, positive. Yes, they had the father and son moment.
What was the majority of the audience?
White.
Okay.
Yes, and so it's great, bro. It's great.
Pay money to pay us?
Yeah. It was awesome, and I had no idea it was Vela. I remember you saying something. I was telling you this earlier, like you said, Vela, Red, White, and Brass, or whatever. I don't know what Red, White, and Brass was. I didn't know about the movie.
It's a really good film.
Yeah,
it's if Next Goal Wins was a letdown, this won't let you down. Show this to your kids, bro. It's a fun film. It's a fun film.
Hard out. So yeah, and when I watched it, I was like, it still hadn't clicked. So I walked out, and Villa's there waiting. I was like, oh, hey, Villa, fancy seeing you here. I still didn't know. And he was like, oh, no, I've come to see you. I was like, oh, why? He sat down and he started talking. And he was like, yeah, I did the rugby bit. And I was like, wait. So you're part of this? Yeah. I was, oh, fuck, I didn't even know. I had no idea. And then everything was like, oh, that's right. That's what Junior was, that's what these guys are talking about. Oh, man.
But good play, great acting, everything.
It was brilliant, bro. Like the main dude. What's the main guy? He's awesome.
Wait.
The guy with the big hair.
Oh, that's Hans.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's brilliant. He is brilliant. Really good cast. It was so enjoyable. Maybe because I didn't see the movie, or maybe because I didn't know what it was. I literally went there because my sister had bought tickets for her kids, and the nieces and nephews take them. So I thought I'd take them, and I didn't know what it was.
What did the kids think?
They loved it, man. They loved it. So we actually went home and started searching. If anyone else had got any footage of it, and that's where we came across clips from the movie.
Yeah.
What's this? And there was a scene where the mother goes and gets the money back.
Oh, and those kids sack it.
Yeah. Oh, the kids loved it.
That's legendary.
Yeah, man.
That's a great scene. That's a real scene.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful. It was brilliant.
You can be as hood as you want, but as soon as Lomokua walks in, you shut up.
That's the real thing. Hey, that's a real thing. And with a lot of dudes, like they're all tough and hard and maybe done some crime or done something bad, and as soon as an outer walks in, man, it changes.
Yeah.
And I love that about us. I love that we're different. Like, we treat our outers different from how Palangis, and they complain about, you have rights, man. You should get your parents arrested, man. Fuck off.
Gonna send you to the rest home, man.
Yeah. You have rights, man. She should respect your space. Yeah, fuck out of here, man. We are not the same. Like,
that was the funniest thing in the Spanian video where he was, I don't know if you saw it, but he kind of did a quick shot of one of the parents smacking their kids in the market. And then he goes, hey, it's not uncommon here for parents to smack their kids. I've just, it's been a couple hours and I've seen it already 4 times.
It is what it is, bro.
Discipline.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our episode for this week. Thank you. And we will join you back next Sunday.
Hello, guys.